morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are and wherever you're watching us from. This is CIO Speaks, the third edition. And this time around, I'm talking to Priscilla Muhiu, the MD of Glovo. We want to find out about e-commerce and Q-commerce and what actually that is and what's the future of deliveries. So you guys just tune in. She's going to tell us all about her life, including how many kids she has. So Priscilla, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So as you said, my name is Priscilla Muhiu and I'm actually the general manager for Glovo in Kenya. Before Glovo, I worked for two companies in the same space, Sandy and OLX. I was at OLX for 6 years and at Sandy for just under a year. And then before that, I was in an advertising agency. So in terms of my background, I'm a marketer. So actually when I joined Glovo, I was the head of marketing for Africa until the opportunity to become the general manager was presented to me, and I definitely took it with both hands. And so in terms of my personal life, I am a mother of 3 boys, 12, 10, and 5. And what I like doing in my spare time, I'm a very social person, so socializing is one of the things I love doing. I read a lot. I am actually what I call myself an adept reader. I read a lot, and also trying to make sure I'm learning as much as possible. So during the weekend, I'll try and do 1 or 2 online courses that take 2 hours just to keep on making sure that I'm continuously building my skills.
So when do you rest?
Actually, that's a good question, given that I'm also a mother and also have a very demanding job. So what I do, every month I have a weekend where my kids, I take them to my mom's place, and during that weekend, it's me time. Me time means I probably go to a spa, just things that make me happy, you know. So I treat myself once a month, or one weekend a month, where I just take care of myself, and my mother helps me take care of the kids.
Oh,
yeah.
You lost me at spa.
Yeah, it's important to take care of yourself, because I realized if you don't take care of yourself, being a mother, being a good employee will be difficult. So it's important to start with you, and then the rest will fall into place.
Okay. So I'm very, very curious. What will Glovo not deliver?
Anything that is not legal. Anything that's not legal. So just to give you also a brief introduction to Glovo. Glovo is actually what we call a super application or super app. So we literally deliver anything that is within your city under an hour. So if you open the app today, you'll see the different categories that we have. We have food, supermarket, drinks, health, baby shops. We even have Masai market, we have butcheries, we have groceries, we even have Mama Mboga on the app. So we literally have everything you can think of. However, in the middle of the button, of the app, you'll see a button called the anything button. So you're literally able to tell us, go and pick for me this item from this store and bring it to me, in the event that you don't find the store you're looking for on the app. So we consider ourselves as a multi-category application. We can literally get anything delivered to you.
Okay. So when you're delivering stuff, you take 15 to 30 minutes generally. So there's usually this saying that it's fast, it's cheap, or it has good quality, but you can't have all 3. So is the customer sacrificing something by using Glovo?
No, actually they are not. If you look at our delivery fees, they're the cheapest in the market. If you look at our delivery times, they are the best in the market. So what we try and do is make sure we optimize operations by making sure, first of all, we have enough riders to service the customers we have. So, and then also optimizing the stores that we have. For example, we limit the radius of the different stores to 3 to 4 kilometers, so that a customer that is beyond that cannot be able to order from that particular store, so that we can be able to optimize the delivery time and also make sure, especially for food, the quality of the food is good. So we have ways of making sure the operations are good, so we are able to be fast and cheap and good quality service.
And now your couriers, because I know this was an issue in Spain last year, are they self-employed or are they employees of the company?
No, they are self-employed. Actually, not self-employed. We call them freelancers. Like they are subcontractors. So what happens is they join the platform with their tools of trade. So they get their own motorbike, they get their own equipment, like the phone that they need to receive the orders, and then they join the platform. And the good thing about that model is that they are flexible. So when you look at the Glovo app, we call them Glovers, the Glovo app, you will see that the rider is able to book the slots and say, I want to work from time X to time Y. So it gives them the flexibility. They can even work from multiple apps if they want. So this model actually works better for them because they're more flexible and they can do as many other things that they want to do. as opposed to being an employee where you're coming in, you are forced to, stay in from 8 to 5, and then we kind of have to regulate your behavior, if you know what I mean. But in this case, they are able to be flexible and decide when they want to work.
So they're like Uber drivers who can work for Taxify,
Yes.
and they can work for Bolt, and
Yes.
they can work for Uber.
Yes, they work for multiple platforms. Yeah, it's the same thing as what you see in the taxi, ride hailing rather.
Okay. So what is your business model? How does Glovo actually make money?
So we make money by taking commission from the stores for every order that is placed on our store. So we already have an arrangement with the different stores that we have. They sign an agreement with us where they give us a particular commission. Depending on the store, we have a range of commission levels. So, and also, of course, the delivery fee. So ideally what happens is the customer pays a particular delivery fee, and together with the commission, we are able now to pay the rider the amount they're supposed to get. So our model is mainly commission and delivery fee revenue.
So what would you say is the future of e-commerce?
I think the e-commerce, we've barely scratched the surface. We are yet to penetrate further and further. Internet is becoming cheaper and cheaper. We are seeing the penetration of smartphone also increasing year on year. That means the market size will also increase. And what I like about having multiple companies that are in the same space, we are continuously educating consumers on the benefit of using e-commerce as a platform to shop. So I think we barely scratched the surface. 5 years from now, it will be a different story altogether. Yeah.
So can you introduce us to the world of Q-commerce?
Q-commerce, which Q means quick commerce, it's literally being able to get anything delivered to you in minutes. And as Glovo, that's becoming a very important division or department another category to focus on. And we've realized beyond food, there's a lot more we can tap into as a market. For example, right now we're already having partnership with Carrefour and Naivas. They're already on board, and we can literally get your groceries delivered to you under 45 minutes. So we see opportunity in other categories: fashion, electronics, beauty. Right now we've partnered with Super Cosmetics, which is a known brand for beauty and beauty category, and they're actually doing well. So it's like beauty on demand, We have pharmacies on the platform, but in this case, we are only able to deliver over-the-counter medicine. We are not allowed to deliver prescription. So there is a lot more to be tapped into, and I think we are just starting. The future is way, way brighter than now.
Okay, so if we haven't really taken so much to e-commerce, at least as Africa, which brings into the picture some place like Jumia, how is it that you're going to be able to handle Q-commerce? What's different about Q-commerce that we will be embracing that we didn't embrace with e-commerce?
For me, I think we just need to continuously build trust amongst the consumer. I think the problem, some of the barriers of usage one of them is trust, yeah? And of course, access to the internet, etc. But for trust, I think also during this COVID period, we saw a very big increase in the number of groceries orders. And even when the COVID situation started to ease a bit, we didn't see a drop in the number of orders. So that tells you that people really embraced and acknowledged that it's actually convenient for me to shop online as opposed to taking my car, going to a mall, paying parking fees, going to a supermarket, queuing for hours. You'd rather actually have this rider, or rather order on Glovo and have a rider delivered to you. So we are seeing more and more people trusting e-commerce. So it's up to us as the e-commerce industry players to make sure that we are delivering what we promise to the consumer. And by doing that, more and more consumers will start trusting e-commerce as an industry. Yeah.
So how do you decide who to partner with? What do they need to bring on board?
For us, anyone that has a store and has customers can join Glovo, literally. So it's just now because when we were launching, we had to focus on particular categories or prioritize. But right now, we are actually onboarding the typical kibanda. We are actually onboarding such stores. And just to give you an example of what we've been able to do, we have launched a brand called Kibanda Express. And the Kibanda Express, the pickup points are the different local food stores that we have in the city. So what we do, we know that you, for example, don't know the name of this Kibanda, right? When you go, you don't know them. If you hear Mama Fulani, you don't know them. So on the app, we create one brand that we're able to build, but the pickup location is the different local markets, local stores that are closest to you. So by doing that, we are able to digitize these guys because, of course, they are very informal. We're able to digitize and also create demand for them, especially during this pandemic period.
So the person who goes and collects from the pickup points is the customer or
The
it's
rider.
the Glovo guys?
The rider. So ideally, when you go to the application, you go to Kibanda Express, you will see the Kibanda Express that is closest to you. And then when you place an order, the rider picks up from the Kibanda and brings it to you. And the food is actually very cheap. It's below 200 shillings. And what we've been able to do as well, we've been able to increase the number of stores so that we are able to reduce the radius. So that when you reduce the radius, it means the cost of transporting that good to the customer is cheap. So we are able to charge a very cheap delivery fee. Right now, you don't pay more than 50 shillings when you're ordering from a Kibanda.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering how you make money, because if you're paying such little money, doesn't it make it less? Because I know that e-commerce, a lot of people are saying it's not necessarily generating a lot of money because of the cost of the stuff and the cost of producing the stuff.
Yeah, so what we do is it's a volume game. It's a low margin volume game, right? So what we do, we just make sure we have as many Kibandas on the platform, reduce their radius to 2 kilometers so that we're able to manage the cost, so that the rider does not have to travel very far, and they're able to do 4 deliveries in 1 hour, for example. And for that, if you look at their earnings per hour, it will be good. So even if they're earning 50 shillings, for example, per delivery, and they're able to do 4 deliveries in 1 hour or 3 deliveries in 1 hour, the earnings per hour makes sense for the rider. So it's a matter of how do you make sure you leverage on volume while taking into consideration the fact that the margins are low. So it's a volume game, basically.
Okay. And so just recently, Glovo Spain got funding for Series F funding, over $500 million. Do you think some of this money will be used to expand Glovo Kenya?
Actually, we are expanding in Africa. We're actually setting up the team in Nigeria. So the plan is to expand into more markets in Africa and also Eastern Europe. Yes, so definitely in terms of even achieving penetration in the market in Kenya, that is, we are planning to invest in making sure that everyone we don't want the application to become an application for the niche people or the high-end people. We want this application to be affordable to majority of the Kenyans.
Oh, okay. That's great. So what is on your wish list if you're looking at what you'd spend the money on?
I would open more cities. Currently, we are in Nakuru, Mombasa, Nairobi, of course, Eldoret, Kisumu. So we are looking at opening in Thika, Kiambu, Ruiru area, because we don't operate up to that area. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to open more cities in Kenya. And beyond that, also making sure that we can be able to invest in making sure that more and more people can access the platform, and they also create awareness, of the brand amongst the middle class towards the lower middle class as well.
So who tend to be most of your consumers? Are they the middle class?
Well, we've seen growth in the middle class section. So initially when we started off, we started off in the Western Kilimani area in terms of the operating area. And then, of course, as we were optimizing our operations, we were increasing the size of the operating area. So right now we cover 90% of Nairobi. And we are covering areas like Donholm, Umoja. People are able to order for their deliveries. That's why it's important to make sure the platform is affordable. And we also have affordable content, not just your typical, high-end food stores, but also having your typical Kibandas so that anyone living in whatever area and they don't feel like cooking, they'll be able to afford to order from Glovo.
So what attracts your network of riders? Is it the money that they get paid, or is it the freedom? Is it the freelancing part?
Of course, the first thing is money. We have to make sure we are paying them enough money. Actually, we use the minimum wage and also, how much a waitress would make from a restaurant, for example. So we use benchmarks, and we actually have a KPI to make sure that the earnings of these riders is optimal. So the operations team, as much as they're bringing on board riders, we have to make sure that we don't bring in so many riders to the point where they don't have a lot of work to do. So the first thing they care about is the number of orders you give them and the amount of money they make at the end of the day. So those are the two most important things. And then also the other things we can do to help them engage better with Glovo. For example, we give them a medical cover. They have a medical cover in the event they have an accident. And also we work with different partners to help in terms of financing of either mobile phone, or they want to get another bike, or just financing basically. So we are trying to get as many partners as possible so that they can improve the lives of these riders.
And how did COVID affect you guys?
Like I said before, groceries orders increased, and also food did not drop as much, but unfortunately the small stores, some of them were not able to sustain their business just by the delivery, and that's why a project like Kibanda really helps, because we are able to invest in creating awareness for this Kibanda Express and also send orders to these various Kibandas. So yes, we had situations, or rather we had stores where they had closed, and for us, we don't have any stores that we own. Ideally, we rely on these stores to stay open for us to be able to do the deliveries.
Okay. Have you heard of the concept of dark stores?
Yes, so we actually have dark stores in multiple markets, especially in the European markets, and there are plans to launch dark stores in the future in Kenya as well. Or rather in Africa as well. Yeah, so ideally, I think you know what a dark store is. It's a store that it's only for delivery, owned by the platform, for example, Glovo. So we do have dark stores across the different countries in Glovo. Yeah.
So what usually happens from the moment I get out my app and then I order something from Glovo till it arrives at my door? What's the process?
So the process is that when you place an order, the order is sent to the partner, and also the partner here is the store, and also the rider at the same time. However, if the store has a preparation time of 1 hour, for example, nyama choma can take 1 hour, the rider will not receive the notification until 1 hour has passed, so that we don't have a situation where the rider has to go to the store and wait. So ideally, it depends on the prep time. For example, KFC takes 3 minutes literally to get the food ready. So in that case, you send the rider immediately. You send the order to the rider immediately. So depending on the preparation time of the stores, you're able to optimize the waiting time. So you place an order depending on the waiting time, rather the preparation time. We send the order to the courier and to the store. Once they receive the order, they start preparing. They also have a tablet that they receive the order from, and they start preparing. Once they prepare, the rider comes, picks, and delivers to the customer.
Okay. So what kind of customer feedback do you usually get?
On the app, at the end of each order, you're asked to rate the courier and the store. So sometimes you'll find the store, the food was not amazing, but the courier was amazing, so you're able to separate these two. Or maybe in one case where the courier was not amazing, but the food was good. So we get this feedback and share with the different parties. For example, if it's a courier, we have what we call an excellence score. So if the courier has a bad rating, it affects their scores, the excellence scores. And there's implications for that, because if you keep on having bad feedback, then it means you're not meeting the quality standards that we've set, and you can be removed from the platform. The same case with the partner. If the quality of the food does not improve, or rather if people keep on complaining, we offboard you from the platform. But what we do, we make sure all the feedback that we collect is shared with the different parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're telling your kids what you do, what do you usually tell them?
Mommy is the boss of Glovo. In fact, my son says that. Yeah, when they're playing, my mommy is the boss of Glovo.
So you say that being a mother is important to you.
It's the most important thing, even more important than being a boss of Glovo. Yeah, it's the most important to me, and that's why for me, I always choose the company I work for has to appreciate that I am a mother first before anything else. And in the event I have to choose, I'll always have to choose my kids. So just to give you an example, if I need to be there for my kids for whatever reason, if maybe they need my help, I prefer to work for an employer who understands that I need to address whatever issue that I need to address. But my kids come first before anything else.
So what's your typical day like?
Right now, because of COVID, first of all, I'm working from home. I go to the office maybe once a week, but people are free to do what they want. So if you have a particular meeting that you want to have, you can come to the office. But for me, I work mainly from home. So I wake up in the morning. I try as much as possible to make sure I shower. Sometimes you're tempted to, spend the whole day doing meetings with the camera off.
Yeah.
So I try and, dress up. Not really dress up. For me, makeup has actually, this is the first time I'm putting makeup in a while. Yeah, so for me, makeup, I just dress up, and then I go for my meetings, and then I do whatever I need to do in terms of following up with the team. And also for me, what I've come to learn during this COVID period is that it's so important to have empathy right now more than ever. And by that I mean you have to keep on keeping in touch with your team as much as you're not having a meeting, rather a physical meeting every other day. It's important to keep checking up on them and making sure they're okay. So what we've tried to do for example, my management team, we have once a month we meet physically in the office, of course, observing the COVID measures, and so that at least we keep in touch. Sometimes this whole thing about Zoom, it can be, it's not the same as a physical meeting.
That's true.
So, but now as a leader, it's so important to keep checking up on your team, because sometimes it's difficult to tell what's going on when you cannot have a physical interaction with the person. So for me, I've learned making sure every week I meet with each one of the team members. Also, not just about work, just find out how they're doing personally. If you feel there's something you can do to help, you help. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's the work of a manager. Actually, a leader. It's not about just work, but just find out what you can do to help them. Just to give an example, I had a feeling that the sales team was a bit demotivated. Last week, we had an early morning meeting, just talking to them and finding out what their challenges are, helping them brainstorm in terms of their challenges, and then just motivating them and telling them, you're doing a good job, just keep pushing. Yeah. And then just letting people know that if they need your help, they can reach you anytime, anywhere, So that also helps in terms of, being there for your team. Yeah.
So when it comes to online shopping, who does it the most? Is it women or is it men? And are there peculiarities?
Especially the groceries section is women.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's women. However, for food, it's a balance of the two. Yeah, but women are mainly the ones shopping on groceries.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you looking into IoT, machine learning, delivering with drones?
Yes,
Is that
that's
the
the
future?
That's definitely the future. We already have a machine learning team. Actually, right now, we already started doing that. So, for example, if you go to the application and you place an order, you will see the status of your order. It will tell you 9 minutes away, 5 minutes away, 6 minutes away, etc. And this is because we have historical data that is helping us predict how long your order will take. And ideally, the system knows you've been assigned particular courier X, right? And this X courier, this is the speed of this particular courier. So based on that historical data, you're able to tell if the speed of this particular courier is X and the distance is Y, you're able to calculate how much time. And then we also have data to show what the preparation time for the different stores are. So for example, Roadhouse will take 1 hour, another store will take 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So all that data is helping us predict how long your order will take. So you will see a timeline, an ETA, which is 9 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is. So actually, the app is also able to tell you the rider is close by, so that in case you need to go and alert the security, in case you need to go downstairs and pick it up or you want him to come up, yeah, so you're able to make that decision as a customer.
Hey, what other interesting things is your data telling you?
A lot of things, actually, yeah. So the good thing about being a data company is that you have the information to make decisions almost immediately. So you're able to know how many orders we got yesterday, which stores had the most orders, which ones had the least orders, what can you do today to improve the number of orders, what can you do together with the partner to improve the number of orders, how many customers came yesterday and also came the next day, retention basically, because at the end of the day, you don't want to just acquire customers, you want to acquire them and keep them, because it doesn't make sense to acquire customers, spend so much money acquiring the customers and you're not keeping them. So we also look at retention. So with all this, it helps us make daily decisions in our business.
So what's the best part of your job?
When I wake up on a Monday morning and I look at the growth for the previous week and I'm like, wow, we are still growing. That really fulfills me. And then also just seeing my team flourish. I have team members where when they started working together and now they're different people. Like, they're very different people. Like, I can see how I've helped them, and that actually makes me feel happy and actually makes me feel fulfilled. And for example, if we have a conversation today and then 5 years from now we meet and you tell me that conversation we had changed my life, that's what makes me happy. So yeah, that's how I measure my success.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm more than happy to share my experiences, and it was actually I enjoyed our conversation.
So did I.
Yes.
Well, you've heard it from the leadership guru, lead with care. I think I've learned something there. My team is going to be different from now on. So thank you so much for watching CIO Speaks. Till next time. Bye-bye.